Welcome to Above Par. I'm your host, Kathy Hartwood. I show you how to take more of your talent to the golf course without practicing harder, taking more lessons, or buying new equipment. I show you how to end the frustration of underperforming so you can start playing to your potential. This is where you are going to learn how to think above par so you can play below par. Let's get to it. Hi, my golf friend. Welcome back to Think Above Par. Hope you're having a beautiful day, beautiful week, playing some golf, maybe with some friends, playing in some events, maybe those times when you get paired with people that you do not know. Because I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about the way that we compare ourselves to other golfers in the group. And there's so many different ways that we can do this. I want you to be really self-aware about the ways that you might do it. But I'm going to use handicaps in this example as a way that we compare ourselves to other people. I was talking with a client who was playing in an event where she was paired with some players who were a lower handicap than she was. And it instantly got in her head. She started comparing herself to these other golfers. Their number on paper of their handicap was lower than her number. So I want you to ask yourself, if this is you or this resonates with you, what story are you creating because these people have a lower number handicap than you do? What are you making that mean about you? What are you feeling at that moment? Pressure? You need to play well? You need to not embarrass yourself? You need to keep up? They're better than you. They're a better golfer. They might be more experienced. You might feel intimidated, right? Because then what happens is you don't play well, right? You're with this group of people that you really want to play well with, and you don't play so well because you're putting so much pressure on yourself to perform. Because you went out and you compared yourself to them based on a number. And sometimes it's amazing to me that it can only be a couple shots on your handicap, a couple strokes. Theoretically, you're the same golfer. A 10 and an 8 are really about the same golfer. Both of you can compete with each other. The way that they figure out your handicap system, there's so much disparity in there that you both are very, very similar in your golf games. But it can seem like a huge difference in your head. My dad always used to tell me that anybody can beat anybody on any given day, even when there was a huge difference in handicaps. And he's right. So when you get paired with golfers who have a lower handicap than you, I want you to get really curious about what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and is it useful for you to go out there and perform your best? Or are you using that information against you? They have a lower handicap and it's working against me because of the dialogue and the story that I'm creating in my head. Now, you can see this in the contrast of when you go out and play with higher handicaps. So you go out and play with a group of people who have a higher handicap than you. You're a 9, they're 14, 15, 16 handicaps. And you're like, oh, I have no pressure. I can relax. I can just go out and swing. And then you go out and play your best golf or play really well or score really well. And that's just proof and evidence that your swing has gone nowhere. It's that self-imposed pressure that you put on yourself based on other people's numbers. And this is the example that I gave my client. And hopefully you can relate to this. Let's say you're a size 6 and you are at a party and you're hanging out with all these people who are size 2s. And suddenly you're like, I'm so fat. I'm bigger than them. I don't look as good in clothing. They're in better shape than I am. You compare yourself to them and you use that information against you to feel crappy about yourself. The next day, you go out and you hang out with some people who are size 10, 12, 14. And you're like, look at me. I am so skinny. I'm in such great shape. I look amazing. Because now you're comparing yourself to people who are larger than you and you feel good about yourself. I'm using size. You can use scale. You can use income. You could use whatever number you want as a way that we compare ourselves to other people. And we either use that information to serve us or we use it against ourselves. The bottom line is it doesn't matter. Either way, you're a size 6. And there's a self-acceptance that comes in there with where you are right now at this given moment in time. I have brown hair, I have blue eyes, I'm a size 6, this is who I am. Whether I'm with people who are a size 2 or whether I'm with people who are a size 14, I still get to accept myself the way I am. Back to handicaps, right? If you're an 8 handicap and you're playing with some people who are a 2 or a 4 handicap, you get to accept yourself. This is who I am. I have brown hair, blue eyes, and I'm an 8 handicap. That's who I am. And if you play with golfers who are a 14 to a 16 to an 18 handicap, that doesn't change. Because in that self-acceptance, you get to show up authentically on the golf course. You get to be very present with what you're doing. When you're comparing yourself to someone else, with those lower handicap people, your brain is preoccupied about how you don't measure up. You're going to spend all that energy on the golf course, all your mental energy on the golf course, looking for ways that you don't measure up. They hit those shots better. They think better. They look so much more confident. They hit it further than I do. They hit it higher than I do. They're better around the greens. They make more putts. All of that is shaming yourself, making yourself feel like not enough because you're spending your energy comparing yourself to somebody else on ways that you don't measure up. Not useful. You're not being present. You're not calm. You're not certain or confident. You're actually dipping into your confidence, right? And you get to witness that when you play with higher handicaps and you're like going, I'm pretty good. Like I hit further than they do. I make more putts than they do. My short game's better than theirs. Right? You're using that comparison as a way to feel better about yourself. I want you to feel good about yourself for who you are right now, your handicap, where it is. And that doesn't mean you have to stay there. It's just self-acceptance. This is where I am. Because if you argue with that, or if you make yourself feel crappy about it, you're not moving forward. You're going to stay stuck, and you're going to stay stuck feeling crappy. But if this is where I am right now, and if I'm happy with that, and that's where I want to stay, then that's an amazing place. But if I'm an 8 handicap and I want to work towards being a 7 or a 6 handicap, you're not going to do that from shame and comparison. You're not going to do that from beating yourself up and tapping into your confidence. You're going to put on the clothes, your size 6 clothes, and you're going to rock the room. No matter if you're with a bunch of 2s, size 2s, or you're with a bunch of people who are size 12, you're going to rock that room. And when you go out and play golf, you're going to bring whatever handicap you have and you're going to rock the golf course because you're going to show up calm, certain, and confident, accepting who you are and getting really aware of the way that you're showing up on the golf course. All right, my friends, this is about comparison and particularly about handicap comparison. And I just want you to witness your brain and the stories you tell yourself when you start playing with people who are better than you and how you compare yourself to them and whether it serves you or doesn't serve you, right? Because if you feel crappy going out there and playing with lower handicaps, you're going to want to avoid it. And there's so much opportunity and growth with getting to play with better players so you can learn and see what you're capable of. All right, my friends, self-acceptance, meet yourself where you are and don't let comparing other people, handicaps, dress sizes, whatever it might be, make you feel less than. All right. I'm here to support you if I can in any way at Kathy@kathyhartwood.com or go to my website, kathyhartwood.com. All right. Have a beautiful week and I'll talk to you next Wednesday. Bye.